Yo, what up? It's Donut. We got some breaking news happening today with Venezuela. As we've been talking about Venezuela, here's about 2, 3 years ago, before they released the World Ahead, the Economist magazine. When we see the Economist magazine show us symbols, like here's Trump's being the moon, right? It's a full moon going straight to South America. I pointed, I did this myself to look out for Venezuela just because of my understanding of geopolitics. I've been studying for a long time, for over 16, 17 years, working for geopolitical news stations before going on my own journey of covering the symbolism. And we already see a lot of the predictive programming in a lot of priming, whether that be food products or even these magazines. But the Economist magazine and Time magazine are really showing what's to come in the future. And we have been pressing the Venezuela thing. Look out for Venezuela for years and years and years. Even in my PDF I wrote in 2020 on the economic collapse during the lockdowns, I was bringing up the BRICS nation because this is all connected to Venezuela being a proxy for other countries, just like other countries are proxies for America. This is just how the geopolitical chess game plays, like in the game of Risk. And I'm looking out for certain days as well. I'll give you those predictions on those days. But this magazine issue was released on November 18th. Now, this is a huge Illuminati day because it's the 322 day of the year, leaving 43 days left until the end of the year. I'm looking out for somebody, a celebrity, to be sacrificed at 43. We'll get into that here in a moment. But this November 18th day is important to the predictive programming, as we see it's a full moon and the blackout happened in Venezuela using new technologies. President Trump was saying that they did this mission successfully, just like they did with carrying out the precise Iran strikes. And this is all kind of correlated. I get a lot of flack because a lot of people are new to researching politics, because people just got into politics during the Trump campaign. That brought a big new people getting into that because it makes a lot of money. I'm not really a political channel, but I understand the politics because I've been looking at it for almost 2 decades. And when it comes to Iran, Venezuela right here is a proxy for the BRICS nation, for Iran. You have Hezbollah there. You have all these things. So when I talk about this, I get a lot of, people just get upset, but I'm just pointing out at least the story on the world stage. And from looking at that and looking at the symbols and understanding how the United Nations is all an occult, organization, and theosophy really runs politics. You look at it from these different angles. It's not prophecy. You could just see what's playing, the game that's being played. So this new technology was used to create a blackout. President Trump said this morning that they used this new technology to turn the lights out. It was dark. It was deadly. Quote, that's what he said. And you could see the eclipse bringing that. And then we had blackouts all in South America as well. But it's a proxy, and I think North Korea is still on the playbook for this year. And my prediction is January 20th, we're going to see something right before the World Economic Forum has their big meeting of the spirit of dialogue. So we're covering this. They went to New York. Why do they go to New York? If you studied Jordan Maxwell, you'll understand this all goes back to the Roman Empire. York being the New York. York was part of the headquarters of the Roman Empire. And that's why you have a New York and all the different rituals that go down in New York. Think about 9/11 and whatnot. But here is Maduro. He was captured and now he's skiing in New York. I made this funny AI image because You got to have a little fun. And also, this is going to be a big thing for the upcoming year, the deluge of AI. No one's going to know the difference of reality and fiction. So I thought that was kind of funny. I made that with the AI. Now, please put a 1 in the comment if you could hear me okay. Looks like we got almost 500 people up in here. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year's to everybody. Let me continue. Maduro captured, Caracas bombed, no congressional authorization, Mexico next, Colombia. So when you look at the mainstream media news, you'll see President Obama, the Obama administration, they tried to do this, but they were very unsuccessful at it. They unsuccessfully did the regime change and put in our own, CIA person into this area. They were unsuccessful, but President Trump was actually successful getting it done with people like Pete Hegseth, who has the Knights Templar tattoo on him, and Mark Rubio, who's part of the disclosure of what's happening, and we're having the disclosure thing. So we're going to hear a lot more about the UFOs in this year as well. But I've been crushing these predictions, and they're just unpopular because it goes against the narrative of how people worldview is. When you have a certain worldview, you can't dive deeper in the information. And over the last few years, especially after the lockdowns, there's been a worldview narrative pushed on people that if you to look and believe in certain directions and focus on a rabbit hole, just one rabbit hole, not looking at the bigger picture of things. So when you're able to research deeper, and that's what we do on this channel, we research even deeper than just surface level conspiracy. We dive even deeper. You can really see how things are operating, and they operate through symbols and operate through different dates as well. So here's another prediction that I got correctly to the T. I got a couple things wrong, but I said there's going to be a big move on the Middle East to happen on 613. This info was stolen and used on big platforms that are promoted, by the elites and the mainstream, like Kanye West and whatnot. They stole my freaking information and posted it. That's fine. I said, fine, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. That's what when people say, oh, I'm fine, they're not. My next prediction with the Iran strike, that it was going to be done on June 24th. I thought they were going to actually be successful in the regime change in Iran, but I was wrong there. I said the snake's head will be removed. The reason I said that was because June 24th is the Knights Templar day for John the Baptist, and his head's removed. So the Demogorgon and Stranger Things head being removed. His name's Vecna, which means Vance. I'm looking at stuff symbolically, and that was 6 months ago. Got that correct to the date, but I didn't get the whole thing correct. And here's about 6 months ago as well, where I'm saying key tension, something strange is being activated worldwide, Venezuela. So we've been just looking at this just because of my understanding of geopolitical activity and the different proxies. So here's that video. It was released 4 months ago. You can go check it out over on my Rumble. But we were pretty much the only channel really dived in and focused on this topic, because you have Hezbollah and different, cells there, but big main thing is like the BRICS nation and whatnot, it being a proxy right here on America's border. People got really upset when I was talking about this, but this is just what I learned. If I'm wrong, you put your comment down below and tell me how I'm wrong. But no, it's just I just got attacked. So it could have been a bot farm as well. But here is the proxy, just like North Korea is a proxy for China. North Korea doesn't do anything unless China tells it to do something. So that's just, looking at the chess piece on the world stage. And this same time, we were looking at Mondami, who was not elected just yet, but I was pointing out how Time Magazine, you look at Time Magazine, which is the Skull and Bones, or the Economist magazine, which is the Rothschilds and the Vatican and whatnot, their connections there. Then you can see what is being told to us, forecasted for us, and it's pretty much right on the T. I was looking at his watch to see if this is a date for something to happen, and this was during another blood moon, another of these eclipses and full moons. So these things happen on these eclipses, full moons, and all of that. And in this video, I just kind of go over the history of how Obama tried to do this regime change unsuccessfully, and the army stood with Maduro. The army stood with Maduro, and it didn't work. But Trump was successful at doing it. We tried to put this guy in, and this was when Obama was in office. So a lot of people weren't looking at this stuff. And right after this happened, then the lockdowns happened shortly after it. So there's a lot going on the world stage. A lot of it's scripted as well. But it's good to, look at things with different angles, look at stuff happening at different angles. And here's another video we did 2 years ago, November 18th, the 322 day of the year, just showing the importance of these dates when this issue was released 2 years ago for 2024. And I was showing what I was looking at because I read these articles and what they're telling us, and it's always about war, these bloodshed rituals and whatnot, and just so much symbols within it. And so this video is pretty good too. I dive into the symbols there. I even show how that's the Sephiroth on it. And then here's the tarot cards that do the predictions like perfectly. It's pretty crazy. We did that with Jacob Israel 2017. So if you're new to this information, people who've been watching this already know like that they do that prediction. But I was just showing Venezuela. Look out. So we got that prediction correct on the channel. Iran and Maduro ties suffer major blow following U.S. operation capture Venezuela director. So the mainstream media this is a signal to Iran and the BRICS nation. And you can see now they're pretty much telling you straight to your face that when I was ridiculed for telling, but I mean, that's just what was saying. It's weird. After capture of Nicolas Maduro in the U.S., now war at Venezuela, is this move legal? They're asking that question, but this is the only time CNN has praised Trump ever, because Obama tried to do it and didn't do it. But they're meeting in New York. New York is very occult. It's where the UN is. So I think that there's more at play here. We'll watch it happen, see what happens. New York has been taken over by the socialists, but this happening on the full moon, the wolf moon, I don't think is a coincidence. I'm looking out for maybe a retaliation or something to go down on January 20th, right before the WEF meeting, so we're all distracted. In Iran, they got the regime change going on there where the people are revolting. And I don't think that's a coincidence either. So a lot of different things are all happening at the same time. Here's Mondami doing the Bellamy salute, which took place. I mean, it all goes back to Rome. This is the Bellamy salute that they did in America for a long time. All roads lead to Rome, looking at the different symbols. So we're also looking into numbers and looking out for a 43-year-old to be the next celebrity ritual. As we just had on New Year's, a 34-year-old celebrity ritual went down. And here are the names. I mean, Nikki is all in the news now, and her birthday's on 128. So it's part of the 128 code. Prayers out to Nikki. And Seth Rogen, April 15th. That's a huge day. I forget why, but that's a big day. And yeah, that's about it. I would say out of this list that popped up. Maybe, I don't know who this is, but yeah, something I'll keep looking into. But this is just breaking news, my thoughts right off the bat. U.S. plans to run Venezuela and tap its oil reserves. Operation to oust Maduro. Just stuff that we've been looking at for a while. And what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. This is a breaking story today, all over the place. And here's the Economist magazine. This is another symbol, a Masonic symbol, I believe. I had never looked at it this way, but I think this is kind of interesting. So it's the circle, it's the ball, it's the exotic ball. And if you look at the Royal Arch, there's an underworld of the Royal Arch for the winter solstice, death, going here into Capricorn. And that's where we're at right now. We're right here on the Zodiac alignment. And if you look at this as a Zodiac alignment, where we're at would be at the bottom, right? And we'd be right here where the skier is. And, you know, could this be connected to the skiing Switzerland Alps fire? I don't know. Just something that I noticed right before I went live, thought I would bring it up, but that'd be interesting if this is telling something to happen, the world ahead, starting right here, the winter solstice moving all the way around. So I'll keep an eye out on that. And here is my PDF that where I kind of talk about it. This was in 2020, 2019. So I wasn't wicked smart. I'm on my wicked smart journey, but I got a lot of stuff, I think, going in the right directions, going over the inflation, the wealth transfer, the Economist magazine, the BRICS nation, the debt and all that. I think I did a pretty good job. Davos 2020 calls for the US digital dollar. And right now, Davos 2026 is about to take place. So we'll keep you all updated. I was connecting to it, how it eventually leads to collapse and war. So go check that out. I believe you can get that over on my Patreon. Become a member today. I really appreciate it. Look out for much more content, and God bless you.